What is going on, traders? What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Excited to hop on the charts with you guys this wonderful Wednesday. Oh, I have to remember what day it was, coming off of a little bit of a holiday weekend here. Wednesday, May 28th. First, read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders lose money. If you trade, you're probably going to lose all of your money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. I'm just an idiot here yapping on YouTube about trading for entertainment purposes only. Read the full disclaimer. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content. Let's go ahead and jump on to these charts here. See what we got rolling. We are here. Share this tab. Yeah. We are here on the, good morning. On the daily chart, getting started. Going to take a look at ES, kind of get a feel for what's been going on over the last couple of days here. We had a holiday weekend, Memorial Day in the US. I took yesterday off as well. Got some rest and relaxation with my family. No complaints, man. Coming back refreshed. I think it's important to do that. So I'm just taking a look at Bookmap over on the side as we are opening up right now. Got quite a bit of liquidity up at 950s. I've had my eye on that. We are just about 8-9 points off of that level right now, trading the 59.41.5. But like I said, let's take a look at the daily real quick. Make sure this view looks good. Yeah, we look good here. Taking a look at the daily. We've been on this gnarly push to the upside, right? Week over week. Started to consolidate. Last week, we kind of sold off. This is last week's volume profile. If I just look at a daily chart, we know what happened Friday and then coming into, Monday, coming into yesterday. So some bullish movement out of the market. And then today, we've kind of opened it up with a little indecision candle. Bearish right now, long wick to the downside. We got a fairly tight overnight range, cracking above prior day's high already in the overnight session, putting our overnight high in, what I identify as overnight high. And now kind of opening up back towards VWAP. So if we start to drop down on the 15-minute, again, which I like to do, just kind of get a feel, right? Especially if I've been off the charts for a little bit. Just kind of remind myself where we're at from higher time frames. Really zoom out on the 15-minute. Okay, serious push to the upside, right? Selling pressure last week. Coming into this week, opening up to the upside, headed back towards, the high of last week, the highs of this area of consolidation, but somewhat choppy up here, right? Kind of back and forth so far. So interested to see where we might head today, right? So we got yesterday's high right here, overnight high right here that we've already cracked above that prior day high. We continue to push to the upside. I could see this area, this gray area marked off right around prior week value area high. Again, different time frames will display this prior week fixed range volume profile a little differently. So it's not showing right here, but I've got it marked off. To the downside, if we start to pull back really aggressively, I could see us coming to check out yesterday's value area low, kind of this area of consolidation, or even more so down towards the 5,900 or below, 5890s, where I have this zone marked off, again, coming off of just levels of structure, area of high volume. So that's kind of framing out my day so far, taking a look at these markets. If I zoom out on the 1 minute, we can see what happened through the overnight session all the way into today, opening up for NYSE right now. We've got some selling pressure, just kind of a drift lower, nothing crazy, through Asia and London. Pretty choppy to the downside, fairly low volume, low volatility. A push in pre-market, right? And then some consolidation up here, chopping back and forth above VWAP, creating this temporary volume point of control right at the 5940s here in ES. This is ES on top one futures. I've got 350K straight to funded accounts with them daisy chained together right now. This is the Project X platform if you are interested in what we are looking at. These are 350K funded accounts. So yeah, just kind of looking at some chop right here to the upside. I could see this continue, man. I could see this continue. To the upside, I wouldn't mind the 950s, right? We got quite a bit of liquidity there. I don't think we blast off and really just continue all the way up through like the 970s around this prior week value area high. So if this didn't do it like right away, because again, if you guys know me, I don't like to jump directly in on the market open, just kind of like to hang out. 15 minutes, It's pretty solid. Give it about 15 minutes to open up. But this might play out before then. But I could see a short position above the 950s, be a crack above that overnight high level, and then somewhat of a reversion move back down towards VWAP. We've got quite a bit of orders on Bookmap sitting up here at the 950s. We also have some at 55 now, 955. So, yeah, it's just going to be too early for me. I'm not going to take this, 4 minutes into the open, but I could see a reversion style play. Sweeping above this area, potentially up to the 55s, and then back down towards VWAP. I'd be looking short somewhere around this 50 to 55 area. If we do this in the next couple minutes here, I'm not going to take it, right? Just too volatile, too much movement. I think we could easily crack right through a stop loss, in the first 5 minutes of NYSE Open. It's just very, very dicey to get involved with. My data shows I really shouldn't be trying it that early, so I'm going to give myself, at least until the 40 to 45 time frame, Eastern Standard, not to be confused with the price levels that I'm calling out because it's almost the same price levels. To the downside, if we cracked back below towards yesterday's volume point of control, I could see it off the 25, somewhere around that level. Again, pretty basic, reversion style play around the open where we kind of just find a lot of volatility, back and forth movement. I do like these for an initial setup, especially if I have a clean level tested or to be tested, back and forth around VWAP. But past that, yeah, I could see this going either way today. I could really see movement either way. We don't have a lot on the calendar. We've seen kind of low volume, low volatility out of these markets, kind of cooling off after the wild ride we've had since November. Summer slowdown is kind of the slang term for the markets coming into June, July, August. Just a lot of vacations taken for the U.S. markets especially, and really across the world. Just a lot less transactions being taken place for whatever reason, right? Forget the narrative. Market seems to slow down. Volume dries up. Volatility dries up. We get a lot of consolidation, a lot of chop. We didn't really get it last year. I will say that. We had like some crazy movement, through like August. So, it's not like all of a sudden certain months of the year do a certain thing. It's definitely not how it goes. But could feel like that a little bit. Talking about today specifically, we do not have red folder news. We've got an orange folder at 10 a.m. and then we have 2 p.m. red folder news. So we don't have a red folder for the morning session. We've got Richmond Manufacturing Index at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's coming up here in about 23 minutes. And then 2 p.m., we have FOMC meeting minutes. That's a red folder. That's one I definitely would not look to be trading into. Late in the afternoon anyway, I'm really not a fan of trying to trade, the last couple minutes of the day. But we could be in for some chop before that, right? We have red folder now in the afternoon. Maybe the market wants to wait for that before, anybody gets involved or we really get some movement. We decide to pick a direction. But we're going to look to trade ahead of it either way. But again, orange folder, 10 a.m., Richmond Manufacturing. That's not a huge one. It's not something I'm really going to say I don't want to trade through. Like I'd put a trade on and just, take profit or stop loss could be hit quickly if I'm in a position during that time frame. But something I would trade through for sure. But good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, everybody? Welcome. Welcome back to the show. Sitting and waiting? Yeah, I see that. Good morning. What's going on, guys? Yeah, so we'll see what we get. 9:38 a.m. Watching this thing open up. I got some levels that I'm watching. 950s. I'll throw a marker up there. We got some liquidity at the 50s and the 55s. I'll mark that with some orange color, kind of the same color on Bookmap. Some orange color raise. Not looking to really get involved in the next couple minutes here. Would like this market to just open up before I look to trade it. Going to be getting close to that 10 a.m. time frame though as well. So this is interesting, right? Timing within this. To the downside, I'd be looking at this point of control level around these 20s. Just depends on what happens here. For potential reversion trades back down towards VWAP. Pretty standard stuff that you've watched me take. But again, just a little bit early here as we come into these 950s. We'll see. We'll see how this starts to play out. Here we go. Looking like we want to go and grab these 950s. There it is. Yeah, this is pretty slow movement today. Let's see if we go climb up towards those 55s, or if this is going to be the point right here. Again, we had a lot on the book right here. Kind of a thick spread of orders, like across a couple points. But right through the 950s, quite a bit of volume there. You could see it right here being traded out. You can see it on the traditional volume. Not a big surprise, right? 950, 5950, big round psychological number. Oftentimes the even hundreds, the even 50s are, key levels in the U.S. indices, especially here on ES. So no massive surprise there. Let's see what the market's got for us today, man. Let's see. But as always, appreciate you guys hopping on. Smash like, smash subscribe. We got a bunch of people, more people hopping on now than ever. It's awesome to see this grow. I appreciate you guys being here. As you know, we will have, let me throw the banner up. We will have 50K account giveaways continuing every week. Straight to funded account giveaways. Really excited to be doing that. Along with that, I'll have more and more special guests coming on. So far, I've had a handful of guests on. It's been really cool to get some new perspectives, different trading styles, conversations with guys that are in different points in their journey. And we'll have more of that, a whole lot more of that coming up. So excited to do that as well. Let's take a look. Yes, we're getting a little bit of a reaction off of these 50s. Not a massive, not a big surprise. Again, I wouldn't mind something like this if it wasn't 940, right? I wouldn't mind something right off of this level. Really just like this. Again, started to frame it out right at the open. Just too early. My data shows that I should not be getting involved with the first 5 to 10 minutes of the market. I take more losses than I do wins relative to the other, times of day. That time of day is just really volatile. I like to jump on the charts, watch what's happening, let the market open up, give it, till around that 15-minute opening range time frame, and then look to start to get involved. But this is what I could see if you went aggressively right off the 50s. Maybe you waited for, that candle to form and you took it at the close right there, 10-point stop above the 55s. Maybe we got to come up here, check this out. But I'm not jumping into anything just yet. I would be much more interested around the 55s, more aggressive level. That would put a stop loss way up here. If we continue that high, I think we're coming to check this area out. We're not going to get an immediate reversion back down towards VWAP, at least right here, right now. And it would give me a little bit more time for this market to open up, but we'll see. We'll see. I like a short back to VWAP so far. I don't know that we just blast off today. We did pull back in pre-market and then find a lot of buyers. We got buyers coming off the open. We are above VWAP, so this is bullish. Again, most of what you see out of these trades are counter to the really low time frame movement, going for an aggressive entry. So it's worth noting that. Yeah, this is going to be interesting coming into 10 a.m. Let's see. What's going on, chat? What's going on? Wolf, what's happening, man? Good to see you. Haven't actually got back to trading yet. Cool, man. Cool. How many accounts have you given away to date? I don't know. Dozens, I would say, at this point. I've been giving away accounts for a while. Started out giving away them on just straight up my own dime a long time ago. So I'd probably say at least 24 at this point. As far as them on the live, been doing the live giveaways for a couple weeks now. Got the first like. Awesome, Richard. What's going on, guys? Promotion is valid until May 31st. If you're checking out the Top 1 Futures promotion, first, make sure you check out the changes. If you guys want to look at the changes alongside with me, I started my Friday session with a couple minutes talking about that, giving you my thoughts, my 2 cents. They've got announcements in their Discord. Always important to know what's going on. You could also head straight to their site. Link is pinned to the chat, and read the frequently asked questions page. Detailed information in there. This deal, which is 55% off plus no daily loss limit, is good until May 31st, Saturday. Watching this thing reject from the 50s. Oh, man. Let's see. Yeah, watching this start to reject from the 50s. We got liquidity on Bookmap up to the 55s and the 60s. This looks like it. This looks like it's going to be some sellers found, maybe a pullback down towards prior day high, volume point of control. Again, just a little bit early. We are coming up to that 9:45 a.m. time frame, so I don't mind it. I think my play at this point, now that we started to get a rejection down here, worse entry than if I was hopping in right up here. Here's 9:45. I'm going to wait to see what happens. Can we push through, take out some more of these sell orders to the upside, up around this 55 level? I mean, I'd be cautious that we just start to break, right? You know, I'd be somewhat cautious that we just start to break to the upside really aggressively and push. But I could see a return to this level, like the 55s, 56s, maybe 60s, and then a reversion back down before we continue to the upside. I could see us selling off right now, right off the 50s, which again, just came too early for me in the trading session. Just not enough time. You know, first couple minutes of the open is not my forte to get involved. But, you know, here's one that would be filed under the, hey, this might work out pretty nicely in the future category. But let's see if we pull all the way back down. Trade's kind of going to be invalidated. We'll start chopping really early. If we continued through the 55s, I'd look short on that bad boy. But there's the reversion so far. And it looks like the 10-point stop, 10-point take profit back towards VWAP would be paying. You know, on another day, if I'm not entering right at the 50s, I'm entering after that wick and, you know, and bearish candle on the 1 minute. And that's, you know, already paying towards the $600, $650 mark. But too early, right? Got to stick to your guns. Too early. Within the first 10 minutes, just doesn't generate a really, really solid win rate for me. Not that much generates a solid win rate, but it generates a worse win rate, a lower expectancy. So let's see. Do we continue sell off back down towards VWAP? We find buyers back here. We start to form this uptrend structure. Don't like it nearly as much off of these 55s now. If we pull this, why? Now we're forming nice uptrend structure, right? You know, now it's not an impulsive move up here where we're ready to reject back down to VWAP, you know, not go back in time, but reject back down to VWAP. You know, we're kind of doing that off the 50s. So let's see how this starts to pan out for us. Let's see, selling off right back down towards VWAP. 50s were the play. 50s were the play. Yeah, again, really simple. You hardly need Bookmap to tell you that this would be a good level to take a look at. Framed it out really nicely. Again, in the first 10 minutes, we're hitting this at 939. I really like to avoid it. I find myself taking way more losses getting involved that quickly. But you know, there's the bare minimum entry would be right off of the level if you waited until that first bar closed. Solid 10-point stop like you see me run would have given me plenty of room to the downside. And this one is really nice and impulsive to the downside. Looks like it probably wouldn't have trailed me out. If I had gotten aggressive, maybe down here, maybe would have gotten stopped in the middle of this kind of back and forth movement. But there it is, right back down to VWAP. So that's initial setup playing out just too quickly. Again, not my setup, not my entry. Right in the first couple minutes, got to have some consistency to say what you're going to do and not do. First few minutes of the open, got to wait patiently. But now that we have this, I really don't have a setup forming. I don't have anything short off of the 55s. It's not what I would look at. It's not at all the play. Invalidates that movement. Now that we pulled back down, if we find buyers here and push back up, it would look more bullish, so not a play to the downside again that I see forming. Choppy back towards VWAP. Yeah, that was really the first initial play. Not going to get too negative about it, but let's see what we got down around point of control. I don't like this as much either, right? I like the first extension and then move back down towards VWAP. I don't like a slice through VWAP after taking everybody out that was getting short, maybe down here, and now continue lower. But we'll see what we get. We'll see what we get on Bookmap. We'll see what we get down around the point of control level, the 26s. $35s, we got some. Yeah, we'll have to see. Sport did hold an NQ. Okay. Count on Zach. Give me. We got Wolf being a troll. Welcome back, Wolf. Complaining. Nice. Resetting. Got too many bad habits. Yeah, resetting is always good. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Welcome back to the show. Happy to be back off after a little bit of an off day. Myself, Monday, Tuesday. Nice to be able to reset, relax, come back fresh. I think it's important to do. I really hardly ever take breaks. You guys see me on here every damn day trading live with you. You see me trading after the lives. Tons of content, even though I was off the last few days, you still saw a whole bunch of content get put out. But nice to get off the charts for a little bit, just kind of reset. I think staying locked in can be really good. You can get great implicit memory built, right? Really, really good intuition built. But at a certain point, you got to just go, all right, break time. Just chill out for a little bit. Let's reset, right? And time with family, right? Time with family is really, really important. My parents probably won't be around for forever. I don't know anybody's parents that will be around for forever. My in-laws won't be around for forever. So I think it's important to spend time with family. Nobody will be around for forever, whether they're old or young. So, I think it is important to take time off the charts, spend time with family. You don't have family, spend time with nature, yourself, doing a hobby that you want to do, friends, I always say that, right? Because not everybody has family or friends or pets or anything, right? But find time for yourself, if nothing else, right? Yeah, this is kind of ugly, man. That was the first play. Again, not to repeat myself too many times. That was the first play. I started talking about it really early here. And like I said, as it was setting up, just too early. If it gave me a couple more minutes, maybe into the 9:45 time frame. But that was a beautiful one off the 950s. Liquidity filled, and then immediately back down towards Bookmap. And I mean VWAP. And I mean Bookmap liquidity, not made up liquidity. We did have some of the 99.55s that we left. Still 136 on the book up there, but it's lightened up. Now we've got some on the book back and forth below here, but I could see a reversion play, taking a buy, either anticipating this being a choppy day or a fake out to the upside, take everybody out, fake out to the downside, and then maybe continue long. We start to sell off, it could get pretty ugly. We could definitely start to pull back on this, but this is still somewhat bullish when I just look at day over day. So, not beautiful. Not beautiful. I think if you are a bull, this is not a bad spot to look for a buy, right? Below daily, candle low, you could say, hey man, buyers are getting ready to step in off VWAP. I'm going to run a wide stop way through, like down to the 915s. We're getting ready to take off. We're going to flip this long. We're going to push towards last week's high today. If that's your play, following off of this structure, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not looking that high of time frame. I'm on the 1 minute looking for these smaller movements, right? So it's wait and see. Back at VWAP. Timing, man. Timing. Family first. You are disciplined as hell. These charts are my family. Yeah, support and holding unclear. Yeah, no, I mean, listen. I'm discretionary, right, guys? And I see we got a bunch of people on here. Welcome, man. Welcome. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Hit like, hit subscribe if you want to. You don't have to do anything. Everything's free here. Love doing this stuff. Not everything. I shouldn't say that, but almost everything that I do is free, right? No VIP, no mentoring or coaching or any of that stuff right now. Just live here on YouTube, free every damn day, almost every damn day, and free community, 100% free community. Links down below. But talking about staying disciplined, right? I'm very discretionary. You guys see the way that I trade, right? I use my subjective interpretation of exactly when to enter and exactly what to do and exactly how to manage these trades. I've talked about getting a lot more mechanical and systematic with my trade management, which you're going to see out of me with every trade that I put on this week. You're going to watch that. But I do have some rules, right? Some guardrails. And for me, one of them, one really clear one is, in the first 5 to 10 minutes of NYSE Open, your long-term results are worse significantly, this is for me personally, than any other trades taken outside of that first 5, 10, 15 minutes of NYSE Open. I can chalk it up to a lot of volume and volatility that comes into the markets during that time frame. And for whatever reason, my style, my approach, my edge is not as present. I tend to get wicked out very quickly. I tend to have aggressive entries or slow-moving entries that just do not fit with that fast-moving, back-and-forth momentum. I think a lot of guys and girls that trade the first couple minutes of the open struggle because it's very volatile. It can be very unpredictable, even though that's not a great word to use because the markets are so random and unpredictable in the short term. But I think it's difficult in those first few minutes. So I have to stay disciplined. And it's challenged on a day like today when I'm ready to get back in, ready to get some trades on with you guys. And at 9:38, 9:39, we're cracking overnight high in the first 8-9 minutes right towards that level. And I got to go, man, this is the setup. This is my entry, right? Talked about it, short off this level multiple times. I got to say, I got to wait. I just know that over time, this is not going to help me. Not going to help me. Today would have helped me. Right? Maybe tomorrow it'll help me. But over the next 100 trades, it's going to hurt me more than it helps me. And that's what I talk about trying to look at. You know, our job is not to win the next trade. It's not. It's not to win the next couple trades. It's to win in the long run. You know, months of data, year over year, you know, are we making money? And, you know, that's what I try to focus on. So as this was developing, second chance was if we cracked towards the 55s, you know, came outside of this 9:15 time frame, maybe took out some more liquidity. I would get an entry that more fits my approach where I'm not jumping in the first 15 minutes and look for a trade back down towards VWAP. That didn't play out. Do I chase it? Do I do something crazy on the way down here, try to enter down here, and then another day it pulls out? No, you know, you just got to wait and you know, wait for your setup to come to you, man. And, you know, again, I talked about this like last week. Talked about it with Tanner or Luna on the show. I can't remember. But if you have to take an L, which you have to take plenty of them, you should ask yourself on the front end when you put the trade on, will I be not happy, but will I be okay taking this L? Or will I say, I did something I knew that I definitely was not supposed to do, and I took the L, and now I'm unhappy? If I put a trade on at 9:35 with you guys, and I take an L, deep down, whether I say it to you or not, but I always try to be honest and transparent about it. I critique myself all the time. I'm going to think, I shouldn't have put that on. I know better than to do that. I've done that many times, dozens of times, and I'm not happy about it. You know, so that's a good like kind of if-then statement or just a reframe, right? Is this a good loss? If I have to take a loss, is this a good loss? Is this part of my approach? Am I comfortable taking this? Comfortable putting risk on? And I say, good job. I did what I was supposed to do. So, again, different for everybody, but that was a trade setup that came really before my trading time frame or during a very small window that I really won't look to take a trade. That happens. It happens. And it's kind of amplified by not being great structure for a second setup, you know, afterwards. So we'll see what happens as we pull down. We're getting close to this point of control level. We're not blasting down through it. You know, we broke and retested VWAP. We are down below. Yeah, I would like the 925s for a really aggressive long if I was going to try something. Yeah, I could see it down here, right? If I zoom out on the 15-minute, you could see how I start to use these volume profiles. We got yesterday's volume point of control. Again, this lines up a little bit differently based on the time frame that I'm viewing it. Right down here around the 26s, we got a temporary volume point of control. If I zoom out, this will move around as I display it. But we got a large area of volume around this level, right? Same from yesterday. I could see potentially some buyers found. That might be all we have to do right there before we pull right back on it. But I could see some buyers found on a deep push in and give me a way to structure risk down below, the daily low, where if we continue lower, I think we're probably coming down towards value area low, if not lower. So I wouldn't mind it off of this area. Again, somewhat aggressive, right? Counter to the initial movement. And we have liquidity on Bookmap, which is also helping me out at the 925s. Don't like it as much as that first one, but that would be a valid setup. That would be something that I would say, yeah, I'll put risk on. If I have to take an L, I'm comfortable taking that L. We go from there. Let's see, though. Let's see what we got. Fun to be back, man. Missed trading. I missed the live sessions with the guys. I really do enjoy getting off the charts, but I do love what I get to do every day with this trading stuff. The charts family, right? Let's see. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to it. 10 a.m. news, yeah. We're a minute in. Not a whole lot out of the Richmond Manufacturing Index. Again, orange folder. What I said before, not something that I'm too concerned about. As you can see, didn't even call it out, didn't even warn you guys. But yeah, orange folder news. Could see some volatility, could see some volume. Not an initial big reaction out of that. Not something I'm super worried about. We have the 2 p.m. Eastern, which is hours from now into the close of NYSE session later today. 2 p.m. Eastern, we have the Fed meeting minutes. That will be likely volatile. I wouldn't want to have a trade on into that. And then after, I'd want it to see it digest, for a while and then maybe consider something. But I'd be cautious into the 2 p.m. Eastern time frame today for sure. Probably want to wrap it up, in my humble opinion, before 2 o'clock today, unless you are a power hour trader. Yeah. So again, I got some markings on my chart. I'm trying to do a better job of picking out some really high end and low end levels. I've been doing it off the 15-minute chart. Oftentimes they coincide with other key levels. But if there's something to the upside or downside that I'm maybe not paying attention to, that I don't have marked, like right here in between yesterday's value area low and prior day low, prior week point of control, prior week value area low, all being really close down here. I got this one. I got this one for today marked out. So worth noting, I got some other discretionary levels on my chart. Some of this is starting to overlap a little bit, especially when I zoom out, which I'm not too happy about. I might make some small adjustments there, but they're just markings, right? No magic. I don't use them like hard lines in the sands. I'm paying attention to price action, market structure, and volume as a whole. There's no real magic behind an individual level. Sometimes they work really, really nicely, but it can just be helpful to have some areas of interest marked out, right? That's the way I like to look at them. What do you think today, chat? Headed to the upside or headed to the downside? You guys bullish or bearish? You got a bunch of people on the stream. Smash like, smash subscribe. Do whatever you want. You don't have to do anything, but feel free. Let me know what you guys think. We headed to the upside. We're going to form this nice bullish candle, or are we going to start to sell off here? We're down below VWAP, trying to move lower. We're trading at the 33s. How are you guys seeing this on ES? I'm curious. This one is I don't have a strong bias on I don't like to have any bias at all, but I don't have a real strong one to say I really don't want to hit the buy or sell button. I could take this either way. Honestly, gun to my head, I could see this being choppy. Like, that's probably where I would go. Just annoyingly back and forth, kind of not barcodey on the 1 minute, but like back and forth movement, kind of extending and coming back down. Kind of what we're doing right now, like back up towards VWAP. But I'm interested. Always interested to hear what you guys say. Meatball sub HS says, dude, you guys in your names. You guys in your internet names are so funny. Hello, sir. Found you on YouTube. Thanks for your time. Hope you are doing well today. I took a 40-point MNQ scalp. Done for the day. Well done, Meatball sub. And thank you, man. I appreciate you being here. And thank you for the feedback, man. You guys are all awesome. I would be just talking to myself here in my my office alone with a camera on my face if it wasn't for you guys. So you all make the community, man. It's awesome. Chop. Okay, I asked about what you guys thought. Chop. Ralph's bullish. 1 hour fair value gap down below. Okay. NVIDIA earnings due today. NVIDIA earnings. Chop. Okay. Yep. Hi, you're doing great. Do you trade on crypto only? No, this is not crypto. This is ES. This is futures. This is the futures market. And specifically, this is the ES chart on Top 1 Futures with Project X. So this is a funded account. These are three prop firm accounts being copy traded together. Project X is the platform. Top 1 Futures is the prop firm. But most importantly, this is ES, not crypto. I go with the flow. If it goes up, I buy. If it goes down, I sell. Psh, John's going to make it, guys. John's going to make it. I'm being dead serious. I love it. No bias. There it is. We got a vibes trader in here. I think it's going to go up, so I'm hitting buy and structuring risk. It's awesome. Love that, man. But yeah, so let's see what we get out of this, man. Again, not anything crazy. Wednesday, we got past that Richmond manufacturing news. Not a whole lot out of this yet. Bookmap's pretty quiet now. We took out the 950s up here. That was the real area that we had a nice stack. We got about 100 on the book down to the 925s. Again, framing out a trade. I could see a long off of this area. I'm going to start marking out Bookmap, with these. I'll even mark it for you guys. Bookmap liquidity. We got some down to the 25s. Overnight low could be an area that we want to sweep below. We got some down there as well. Buy side, I could imagine, because we can't see stop orders, right? We can't see orders that are not resting on the book. I would imagine we have additional liquidity down here by way of people getting long and now going to get taken out. This would be an obvious area to place a stop loss, right? Down below the low of day. So this could be a little bit dicey getting involved up here. With overnight low, I would definitely have to run a stop below overnight low. My 10-point boy would be kind of tight. I'm framing out a long idea here, guys. Very simple. Back to VWAP. This is not the same as this trade up here, right? Where I would look to enter very aggressively off of a level of liquidity. This is different structure now, right? Now we've pushed to the upside, failed, and came back down to VWAP. Okay, that's kind of that first trade idea that I really like. That VWAP reversion, back to VWAP, back to area of high volume. Doesn't really have so much to do with VWAP, more so than it has to do with an extension and a level of liquidity, but somewhat of an initial reversion. Now we got some structure, breaking through VWAP, testing, continuing lower, continuing to put lows of NYSE session in, breaking 15-minute opening range to the downside, so it's not as nice to take this counter. But I could see point of control tested and this liquidity taken, and then potentially a move back towards VWAP before continuing lower, or just that's going to be the low of this, this session. Wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind that for a long. Again, framing out some trade ideas, whether we get them or not, hopefully providing value on how I trade, where I come up with this. I think it's going to go up. I think it's going to go down. So I buy or sell like John. That's really all we're ever doing here. Structuring risk. Yeah, I'd like this to be lower or like lining up with overnight low, so I don't have to worry about this level, because this is obviously a level that I think people are going to be taking a look at. We come through overnight low. I think we're headed to value area low from yesterday, if not lower. Like I think if we come through this aggressively and this aggressively, we're probably going to start to sell off. We're going to continue forming this bearish bar. We're going to push this daily candle low lower. You know, if we continue through this, I think we're gonna push. I don't know that we just stop here and then flip long. Paying attention to daily candles has helped me a little bit as well. Just day over day having a reference, right? I'm so zoomed in on the 1 minute. There's definitely an argument to be made that what are you doing looking at the daily? But just the price action, really, like the individual candle formations on the daily can be interesting to look at. All right, let's see as we start to come lower. Again, I'm not going to dive in front of it like with a limit order here, but I'm interested down around this level. If we aggressively sold through, I could see taking it long below this level if I had a chance to wait. But I'm looking at long 2 contracts, 10-point stop back towards VWAP off of this level. Even just on a pullback back up, that wouldn't be too bad to capture a nice risk to reward, or a decent risk to reward, I should say. Let's see. Let's see what we get. Coming into some liquidity at the 30s. $18. Yeah, we got overnight low at 59.18 and a half. I'm just eyeballing that on Bookmap, taking a look at where that is. If you guys don't know what Bookmap is, what the hell I'm talking about, Bookmap's just an order flow tool. It gives me a traditional depth of market, and it gives me a heat map. It's showing me where live liquidity is in the market. I can give you a look at that together. Yeah, what do we mean on Bookmap? There we go. See, I felt that question coming. Here, let's look at it. Screw it. I'll potentially miss this one. Hang on, guys. Let's look at it. Boom. Add to stage. All right, now we're looking at Bookmap. Yeah, great question. I felt that one coming because I was talking a lot about it, and if I don't show it, usually you guys start to ask. So, John asks, what does Bookmap? Is there a lot of buy orders down there or sell orders down there? So, let's go back to Bookmap. This is Bookmap. This is an order flow tool showing level 2 data, right? So, what we have here, just real quick, and I got a video dropping about Bookmap for you guys that are interested. I don't consider myself the Bookmap expert, even though I've been watching it for quite a while. We have price levels for ES, right? The current futures contract. This is price levels for ES. And we have the current order book, also known as the depth of market, the DOM, the ladder. These are displayed in a number of ways, but this is pretty much a traditional DOM. We're looking at quantities of orders, sell orders above price, buy orders below price. That's what we could see. And individual quantities. And we have kind of that histogram, I think you call that, where we can see where the high orders are or low orders are, quantity-wise. And we have it being displayed as a heat map. Everything to the right of this line, as we come down into the 25s, because I kind of want to avoid doing this right now. Everything to the right of this line is live, right? This is the live market condition. You can see it like moving quickly and changing. Everything to the left is historical. That's helpful. Here we go down towards the 925s where we have this level of liquidity that I'm watching on the book. That's helpful because with a traditional DOM, it just moves very quickly and you don't get to see what happens when we got there. You can't see volume traded. We have best bid and ask. This is essentially just price, a price line, no candlesticks. You can show candlesticks on here. I have it showing volume bubbles, traditional volume down on the bottom. We got a couple other tools on here, volume profiles, cumulative volume delta. I'm not going to talk about. But we are looking at resting buy orders on the book right over here. As I was talking about, we had the 950s, right? 950s, we had quite a bit on the book. This is what I marked out before earlier in the session where we had a really nice rejection where I was looking for a sell, but it came too early, right? Why? A lot of sell orders up here. I think we're likely to go grab that liquidity, right? Basic pattern recognition. Forget market mechanics. Forget the narrative. I'm an idiot. I say, ooh, look, I noticed something that happens on Bookmap day over day based on simple pattern recognition. Love to do it that way. I was looking at the 955s as well, right? As we started to come closer, we had quite a few orders on the book up there. 150 at that time. Again, this is historical. We didn't quite get up there. We rejected really nicely from those 50s and started to sell off. So again, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about orders on the book, the DOM, where orders are on the ladder at specific price levels, resting orders above and below price. And I tried to mark it a little bit on the candlestick chart itself if I really have a level that I'm watching that's not like overlapping anything else. So getting ready to come into this down here. I'm going to hop back over to my candlestick chart because I might be looking for a trade. Hang tight with me, guys. Let's see. Boom. Back in action. Hopefully that helps answer that question. You guys want to check out Bookmap? Here, ready? I'll throw the banner up. And we will get Bookmap in the chat. I'm partnered and affiliated with Bookmap. I cannot stand to be unbiased if I stand to make money. If you want to check out Bookmap, there it is. Do I think it's a magic tool that everybody needs to make money trading? No, absolutely not. I think it's just like anything else. It can be helpful. It can be harmful. Depends on you and your personal approach, how you're going to utilize it. I think for me, it can be very helpful. I enjoy it being able to see that liquidity. It's stuff that I can't see on the candlestick chart. It is different than any other indicator, right? It's not just price, time, and volume. It's giving you different information. For those reasons, I enjoy it. So, but again, plenty of guys that don't, or guys and girls that don't use Bookmap. So let's see what we got coming down towards these 25s. Yeah, man, kind of a slow creep to the downside. ES, man. ES ain't giving me much to work with here. Let's see what we get. Jess B, what's the giveaway? It's instant funding. It is instant funding. The 50K account giveaways that I've been giving away on these live streams every week now for a while and will continue to. We got them coming up this week, right? Random days, random times. It is a 50K straight to funded account. Instant funded, no activation fee, no challenge. You are directly into a funded account. It's a top one futures 50K instant funded account. And again, how the giveaways work. Random days, random times on the stream. It's only for people on the live stream. You fill out a form, you got a chance to win. No purchase necessary. Basic contact info. You don't have to jump through any hoops. You fill out a simple Google form, name, email, some usernames so I know how the hell to get in touch with you, and randomly select someone right here on the stream. You get it directly from them, and yeah, it's been cool. Got a handful of people on here funded, which is great. We'll continue to do that. But again, random days, random times. I try not to give it away, right? Because it's for you guys and girls that are here on the stream hanging out with me. Okay, I'm watching this come into the 925s. Sorry, I was adjusting this. Okay, this looks good for you guys. You can see. Let's see what happens down here around the 925s. I see we got some more questions got some more questions on Bookmap, kind of what I'm seeing, how I utilize it. I'll talk a little bit more in detail on it, guys, as well. But I'm interested below this point of control level. We got more down at the 920s. That's not beautiful. Yeah, I don't know that I want to jump in front of this, right? Like I said a couple times, I don't think I'm going to. It's not the same as a quick impulsive move where I think there's going to be a reaction. We got some serious not serious, but we got some decent downtrend structure forming, right? Price hold below VWAP. We haven't filled this yet. We traded like right to it. We haven't filled what's down here on Bookmap. Again, if you guys are using a DOM, using the depth of market, anything traditional, you should be able to see this as well. We got 209, 208 floating around right at the 25s. We got another 118 on the book down at the 20s, right around overnight low. But at very least, I want to see what happens when we get down here and fill this. We rejected right beforehand. So we'll see how price starts to react to these orders. And again, market doesn't always do what you expect, right? Same with Bookmap. Like, I talk about how I utilize it, the patterns that I see, but the same way on a candlestick chart or any chart, anything can happen, right? Trump could tweet something about China and tariffs right now and forget about any orders on the book. It's going to rip, 50 points in whatever direction it wants to because a heavy amount of, market participants are going to step in, right? There's going to be a reaction. So the same is true for Bookmap. It's not any magic. And I think it's really important to talk about it that way. I hear so much talked about, even being partnered with them, affiliated, right? Standing to make money. I think it's important to talk about tools that we use, right? There's no magic. There's nothing that's going to give us, some 90 or 100% certainty like I see all the time advertised by people. But it can be helpful, right? We could see things happen slightly more often than not, right? Maybe it's just helpful for structuring risk. It's just helpful for being a secondary, area of interest on your chart where you say, well, I'm interested in getting involved around point of control, 926. But today, I'm just random example, maybe there's 1,000 lots on the book at 920. Well, I probably want to be cautious around 920. If we come down towards that, we're probably going to see some volatility. It could be dicey around that level. Maybe I don't want to stop right there, or an order to fill where I could experience slippage, right? So you could use it a number of different ways. Again, I think it's just additional information, and it might not be helpful. Again, we got to be really cautious. How much information can you really take on? How much can you really process in your trading decisions before it gets to be overload? Too much information, conflicting information. It's not helping. So I think keeping things as simple as you possibly can. I think I keep them very, very simple, despite the way that I talk. Maybe I get a little bit technical. My trading strategy is stupidly simple, very basic. I do the same stuff on here with you guys day in and day out. Very simple. There's no magic, nothing proprietary. I use the most basic stuff, like the same levels that everybody, very similar tools and levels that everybody else are using, right? The common stuff, because I find it works well, and I don't have to reinvent the wheel. So, but anyway, important to talk about it that way. Watching the 925s, yapping as we come towards the 925s. Didn't fill. 190 on the book as we're moving away from it. This might be an example of us not coming all the way into a level of liquidity and just rejecting back towards VWAP before we do. 200 up above it, right past like the 930s, 931. We got like 200 on the book that came on. Looks like something wants to get filled there. Not a whole lot out of this market so far for me today. There we go. Turning the downside. We got a little bit of volume here. Let's see what happens. I see you guys asking questions on in the chat. Bear with me. I just want to see if we're going to start to push into this. I would want to see, for an entry on this, I'd want to see a crack and, potentially like a push lower, right? Like kind of aggressive movement through this. Here we go. I'm not going to jump in right here, right? I'm going to forgo the opportunity to jump in right here to get a more aggressive price. Two reasons I think that's likely to happen. There we go. Starting to crack through. I'm going to watch the 920s. And second reason is I don't want a stop loss right here. I don't want a stop loss right below this low. I think that's a stupid spot to have it today. So we might reject right here. We do have orders now through this level. I'm going to look for an aggressive buy down around overnight low. Here's the initial level getting filled right here. We could see a really aggressive bounce right from this level. I'm going to forgo that opportunity because with a 10-point stop, I'm right below this low. And it's just not a good setup. I just wouldn't be happy getting tagged right here and then watching the market rip. And I think that could potentially happen. So I'm not going to jump right in front of this one. Here we go. We got buyer stepping in, though. Let's see what the thesis looks like, right? Had this level marked. Again, I'm not hopping in on it. It's not really a clean setup. Not with 150 on the book right here. Now 150 on the book right here. Another level of liquidity and being so close to this overnight low level. But we're going to potentially watch this play out back towards VWAP. It's going to just be a choppy, tight moving back and forth day and no real good opportunity for me. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. But I'm going to watch this patiently before I answer some questions, guys. Let's see. Getting ready for a trade. Let's see what we can do. Key times, let's see where I stopped reading. Okay, so what do the red and yellow lines mean on Bookmap? We started to talk about that liquidity. The darker red, the level is, here we go, bouncing off the 25s. The darker the level is on the heat map, the more quantities on the book, quantity of orders on the book relative to other orders that day. That's what that heat map displays. So you marked at that line 925, but as price moves down, doesn't liquidity point move also? No, not always, right? Orders can move around. They can get pulled at any time. They can not fill, spoofing, manipulation, or just people genuinely moving orders around. But no, they don't always. They don't always move. Are you using any other indicators? VWAP, visible range volume profile, fixed range volume profiles, and traditional volume. I guess those would all be considered indicators, more so volume tools. What helps you determine bullish, bearish bias for the day? Not too much. I try not to come into... Here we go, bouncing off the 25s. I try not to come into the day with too much of a bullish or bearish bias. I really don't. I try to stay flexible. I don't find it helps me in the long run. I do look at the daily. I do start in the higher time frames. I create some if-then statements, what I could potentially foresee happening within reason based on where we're opening up, what happened the last few days. But that's kind of it. Nothing crazy. Yo, Zach, I hit my profit target on my 150K account, but consistency is at 26%. First off, congratulations. Awesome. Will lowering my profit for today lower the percent, or should I aim to make more tomorrow? So make sure you understand that consistency rule, my brother. No, lowering the profit after you close out for the day is not going to lower the consistency rule. Because think about how the rule is stated, which is standard across these firms. No single day of profit can be larger than X amount percent of total profit when you go to withdraw, right? So right now, you're sitting at 26. You have to make more money because your profit target is pushed now farther out. You have to make more money on another day to lower that consistency, right? Because you're going to push the total amount of money out, and you're going to lower the percent of whatever that one large day that you have is in there. That's adding up to 26%. So you would have to make more money. You don't have to do it all in one day. You don't have to do it all today, but you have to make more money. The only time it makes sense to lose money intentionally is if you put up too much money on one single day of trading, and within the same day you bring that profit back down. Let me know if that makes sense. I have a full video on that as well. Does Top 1 have an activation fee or 99 for the challenge? There's two things with Top 1, as is a lot of these firms. The evaluation model has an activation fee. The instant funded model, there's no activation fee, there's no challenge, there's no anything. You're just into the funded account. So with the elite challenge accounts, there's an activation fee. With the instant funded, no activation. You're just in, one price, no monthly fee, no nothing. You're either going to make it to a payout, you're going to lose the account. That's it. I will get to trade with a clean chart. Nice. Meatball says, we're short until at least right around 10:30. Retest to push up, back to high of day. Thousands of hours of back testing. We continued the 10 a.m. push after 30 minutes. And the first hour of NY, our key times. Nice. Listen, dude, I love the confidence. I wouldn't say that with 100% certainty, but if that's your approach, I love it, dude. And I like the confidence that you have in it through testing, man. That's what it takes. That's what it takes to keep putting trades on after losing or losses. Thousands of hours of back testing. Beautiful, dude. So, yeah, so you're calling, let's see, you're calling short through 10:30, which we're coming up on, right? A couple minutes. And then a reversion back to the highs. I like it, dude. I'm looking long down here. It fits my bias. So here we are hanging out, retested the 25s. We didn't bounce really aggressively. Let's see where we go from down here. Again, for me, guys, this isn't beautiful structure. I'm trying to find something maybe down around this level at this point. I'm gonna wait and see as we come lower. I'm looking long, for a reversion trade back up towards VWAP, back up towards this temporary volume point of control, off of a level that would give me a way to structure risk that says we continue lower through my stop loss. I think we're continuing way lower, and it's going to be just a gnarly bearish day, right? That's the thought process here. So, but let's see if these 925s hold. We did bounce here pretty nicely. We came 7.5 points off of this low after trading down to the 24 mark. What is that? 23 3/4 was the low of that candle. Let's see what we get down here. Yeah, let me know if I answered that question on the consistency rule to the gentleman who I think is in Discord. What's up, man? Make sure you understand what I'm saying there and that you understand it. The rules are pretty clear, straight from their frequently asked questions. But the consistency rule seems to confuse people. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward, right? If you have a 20% consistency rule, how much money do you need to make to take a payout? Divide by 5, right? Or times that amount by 0.2. You can't go over that amount on any one single day. That's how you stay within the consistency rule. If you do, not a problem, right? Not the end of the world, but now you have to make more money. If you go over whatever that amount is, take your largest day times 5. That's how much money you need to make. That's how much money you need to make. Where's Google form for the giveaway? Can you drop the link? Not yet. Roxy T. Random days, random times. Random days, random times for that giveaway. Usually tell you guys right before. Ask for a whole bunch of likes when we get the like count up, and then I drop it. But that's how that works. Yeah. Right on your chart. Okay. I don't know what that means. But you've been on here before, so I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Yes, brother, you did. Thank you. Makes perfect sense. You made a bit here. Yeah. Cool. Yep. We can go through examples if you need, because again, trading's hard, right? Trading's hard enough as it is. You add in having to pay attention to prop firm rules, objectively, it's harder in that sense. Maybe it's easier because you don't have so much money on the line. There's some different ways to talk about it. But you got to understand the rules. You have to, just to stand a chance. So if you're a heavy hitter, consistency could be tough sometimes. Yeah, if you're a home run hitter, here's my thoughts on that. I talk about it different times. Here we go, selling off the 25s, coming into low of the session right here. As I watch this, I'm going to talk to you guys. I think majority of traders will do fine. And I shifted this because at first I thought it was more of a problem in the past. Majority of traders, I'm going to say like 8 out of 10, they're going to work okay with the consistency rule. It's going to keep them disciplined. They're not going to be able to get greedy because they're not going to be able to make a huge amount on any one day. But there's going to be 1 or 2 out of 10 that it doesn't really work well for. And those are going to be, well, he said heavy hitters, or she said heavy hitters, home run hitters, right? Like low win rate, high risk to reward traders. That's not going to fit well within a low consistency percent for a prop account. Why, right? Well, you're going to have a lot of small losing days and then one big winning day rather than moderately consistent winning days. And if you need to let your winners run to the moon and to capitalize on really big winning days, you're probably going to be better off with a no consistency type firm or something with very high consistency, right? Again, not for most, but you could ask yourself that. Do I run a really low win rate, really high risk to reward? 20% consistency could be an issue. I've seen a couple traders do it. It's not common, but I've seen a couple traders do it. But again, we just did a podcast, did one with Austin Silver. It was a roundtable with a whole bunch of guys. It was really cool. It's in Discord. It's on YouTube. Check it out. But I talk about the first thing. Austin says, what's the most important thing when you go to pick a prop firm, right? And my initial comment was, look at the rule set. And you're coming to prop firms with a strategy, right? With an approach. Try to find one that you don't have to adjust your approach, your strategy too much for, right? Because you have something that's working, and if now you have to jump through hoops or do something crazy that doesn't fit with you to try to make it to a payout, it's just not going to work, right? It's hard enough as it is to just trade consistently. So that's important. Look at the rule set, right? Look at the consistency rule. Look at the, all of these things, right? Different rules. Watching this continue to drop, guys. So again, I'm biased, right? I'm partnered, I'm affiliated with different firms, with different companies. I can't stand to be unbiased. It's important for me to be transparent about that, right? So grain of salt, what I say, do your own research. For me, I think if you were a home run hitter, what would be a great option, not being partnered or affiliated with them at all or standing to make money? Top Step. Top Step does not have a quote-unquote consistency rule in the funded XFA. They have a max payout amount, and they have a minimum days to pay out with a dollar amount that you have to make. So technically that's like you have to do something consistently to get paid out, but they don't have a percent consistency rule. Outside of that, most instant funded firms, the big players, are going to have, around that 20% mark. I can speak on top one futures. It's 20% consistency. So again, it just requires pre-planning, on the front end. But if you are a home run hitter, if you're trading with a 10% win rate, 20 to 1 risk to reward, it's probably not going to work for you, right? Because your monthly P&L is going to be small loss every day, small loss, small loss, small loss, small loss, huge win. You're not going to put up, 5 days of those consistently quick enough to make it work. But again, I'm going to say majority of traders don't have that issue. And there's a case to be made that a lot of guys talk about where traders do better with a consistency rule because it keeps them from getting greedy. It keeps them from thinking they can just make, $100,000 in a day. It stops you at a certain point. You have an upper limit. So let's take a look. I'm watching some volume down here right at these 25s. Yeah, I'm not jumping in front of this again, guys. We got a wall here, right? A little bit of a base getting built. Not a ton. A little bit of struggle getting through the 25s. We got liquidity down to this overnight low level. I'm looking for an aggressive buy off of these lows. That's pretty much it for me. I think we could start to bounce here. We are putting a base in. I don't want to jump in. We got 177 on the book down here at the 20s. It's close to this overnight low level. Same stuff. I'm kind of repeating myself, but I'm looking long off these lows. Sweep of overnight low, potential rejection, maybe before we start to blast lower. We bounce here, not a clean setup. This is just not clean to have a stop loss right here. It's not it. And I'm not going to run something with a real small position size and a stupid wide stop loss because I don't know that we don't sell off, right? And I need to capitalize on a small movement, trail and stop aggressively. So let's see what we get. Let's see what we get if we come lower. See what we get if we come lower. Talking about Top Step. They delisted a bunch of countries. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, there's countries on a lot of these. Point is, there even with bad math. Can you use the free 50K account to do a specific example of those consistency clarifications? Yes, I can. Did I miss the form? No. Math is bad. What were we talking about here? Apex has a trailing drawdown that will kill you if you try to use runners. Yeah. So again, different rules, right? A trailing intraday drawdown on unrealized profit or realized profit, tough to work with, right? Who does that work well for? Scalpers, right? Quick scalpers, quick in and out, aggressively trail and stop loss, right? Not allowing that to come back, down on you. Good morning. Those are the things, right? Those are the things. Watching this come down to the 20s. Bear with me, guys. Yeah, we'll do some examples on the consistency rule because it's again, I don't want to be like, oh, it's easy for me, so everybody should understand it. For some reason, it clicks for me. I can wrap my head around it, but it seems like a lot of people they need a lot of examples, which is totally cool. I'm an idiot in a lot of areas, right? I'm not a math guy, so maybe I'll need a lot of examples for something else. But before we get off today, I will do an example. I'll do another example. We'll talk about it in detail. Watching the 20s, we got a decision to be made down here, right? Really aggressive selling off, coming in, or somewhat of a bounce back up here. I'm looking long off of these levels down here. Again, a sweep of overnight low, liquidity down at the 25s. This could get really dicey. I am now looking to buy on some serious selling pressure, so I could get my face ripped off getting long down here. Didn't trade that out yet. If we start to bounce from here, it's really going to screw me. But I wouldn't mind taking an L on this one if I have to. So I'm going to look long on this. With an entry down below overnight low. Would be a crack through this level. Little bit better of an entry down below this level, taking out some liquidity. Anybody long up here, stop loss down here. So let's see. There we go. Trying it. Okay, cracking through. Watching Bookmap for a long entry here, guys.
Order
I'm
filled.
going to try it from right there. Not going to wait for a sweep of this. I like the way buyers are starting to hold it. I could see the bounce coming. Got plenty of room now with this entry to allow it to come down lower. We come through where my stop loss is, the 11s, down to like the 9-10s. I think we're aggressively selling off. I think I'm dead wrong, and we are continuing to the downside. So waited patiently for this level to get hit. It's taken out. Buyer's starting to step in, right? Didn't jump into a knife to the downside just yet. Let's see if we can start to push to the upside on this. Again, arbitrary take profit. That's not where I'm looking to hold to. Just in case somebody makes a comment. That's why I'm running them these days. Someone makes a crazy comment and, price knifes to the upside that I get out of the position. But I don't like to have it sitting on there because everyone goes, well, you didn't hold to the take profit. You didn't hold your trade to the take profit. It's not a real take profit. So, but I'm going to leave this one on as the 2 lots, 1,000 risk per trade. This is copy traded across 3 accounts. Let's see if we can start to push to the upside. I'm going to run the same play that you guys have been seeing me run last week. I'm not going to go stop loss to break even. I'll tell you that. That play is not being run, but I have a fixed way to drag my take profit, my stop loss into profit based on the trade moving in profit. If it moves against me, it's a full stop loss. That's it. So it will be a full stop loss or a partial winner. No entry right to break even and then stop loss to break even and then stop to break even. So that's the play. Long 59.21 and a quarter. CYA, cover your ass. Order at 59.11.25. Let's see if we can start to get a bounce here. Again, I could see us coming to check out like even the 15s. We got some down here. We might have to dip a little bit lower. But I like this reaction so far. I'm going to get rid of these lines just for now. Actually, not. Let me get rid of that one. There we go. Getting a little bit of a bounce out of this bad boy. Let's see what we can do. I think we got to be a little bit cautious as we come up to this area. If we come up to this area, I want to see an immediate push through. Again, mechanical way of me looking to manage this. We come and trade out towards the 27s, 28s. I'm dragging this into profit, aggressively into profit. So it looks like we might go to try to do that right now. Let's see. Let's see how quick I can be. There we go. Nice push. Getting ready to drag this stop loss up into profit. Trading 5 points in my direction. Not quite there. Didn't quite hit the level that I'm looking at, the 27s, 28s. Traded right to the 26s. Again, I got a mechanical, systematic way to manage these that I'm describing to you right now. But it is no stop loss to break even, right? I will let this come all the way back down to completely stop me out. Did not give me what I needed to drag into profit, and I got to trust my data. A lot of what you saw over the last 2 weeks, a ton of stops for break even, and then a continuation in my direction, right? As I talk about, on the way to that, you're going to catch trades that start to move in your direction that come all the way back down to stop you at break even, right? But what's happening more often than not? That's the data that you want to look at with trade management. So let's take a look and see. We coming all the way back down? Maybe. Got some sellers stepping back in on that one so far. Little retest of point of control and a reaction there. Let's see it. Let's see if I have to take the L on this one. Nice bounce. Buyer stepped in, really defended that level. Looking at measured moves so far from the day. Yeah, that was right. A nice measured pullback. Not really enough to continue and say that was the biggest bounce so far. Just looking at some of these pullbacks off the low, 6.5 points. I start to do that when I look at structure. Yeah, it was almost dead set to that 7.5, 7 3/4. So let's see. But as always, appreciate you guys hopping on. Welcome to the show. Maybe you took a similar trade, not because you're copying what I'm doing, because that would be stupid. I'm an idiot on YouTube, right? Not a financial advisor. I'm definitely not the best trader. I say that all the time. No magic strategy, no big P&Ls, still make mistakes. But maybe you say, hey, you know what? The way that I like to manage these trades is aggressively stop to break even. What you've seen me do over the past couple of weeks, which has not really helped me, right? Not really helped me. I've been stopped to break even, and then trades have moved in my direction. You might say, hey, I don't want to let something that moves, 5 points in my direction come back on me. And you go stop to break even. Nothing wrong with that, right? But like I talk about once I get into trades and just talk about trade management, which I think is so important, trust your data, right? Trust your data. The data, your results are not going to lie to you. They can't. They are just pure feedback, right? So over a large sample size, what's happening? What do you see happening more often than not, right? And then trust that and adjust to it. And I think if more traders did that consciously, right, we'd have a lot more guys making money. It's difficult to do, very difficult, because as you start to make adjustments, ever so slightly, you're not going to be right every day, right? You're not going to be right every day. The market's very random on the short term, right? So in the pursuit of profit, right, and what's best for my P&L, I viewed based on my specific entries, my results, right, and trading it live with you guys, which you can go back and watch, going stop loss to break even very quickly, a couple points in profit like we just had there, is not helping my P&L. I'm better off allowing trades to come all the way back to stop loss or continue into profit where I can drag the stop loss aggressively into profit. That's what my data is showing up to this point, which I trust, right? Then you just let the odds play out in your favor over a long period of time. But I think what I'm going to have demonstrated right here, as frustrating as it is, but I'm happy to do it live with you guys, is one where maybe stop to break even right now. I'm $25 in profit. I'm closed out, and it continues all the way to my stop loss. We continue selling off today, right? But I encourage you, if you want to watch if you're questioning how I'm managing this trade, I usually don't have so many back-to-back examples. I have enough examples to drive me crazy over the last 2 weeks of trading where I had trades stop me at break even and then rip to what would have been a full take profit. I have so many that I could say I have 3 on the same day stopped at break even that all continued in profit, right? So, it's just looking at your data, looking at your results, and just doing a little bit more of what makes sense, right? There are plenty of strategies where stop at break even makes sense. And I started, as I got more aggressive, down the lower time frames, trading multiple minis with doing that because I felt that was the best move. Small adjustments, very small, right? I'm still going to trail aggressively into profit. That was close, really close, but just not, not fat finger it, just not quite there, right? Almost at that point where I'm going to aggressively trail a couple points behind price into profit, but just not right there. Not there yet. So that's the play. That's the play. But appreciate you guys hopping on, man. We got a bunch of people. Smash like, smash subscribe. We're going to watch a trade play out for small win, large win, small loss, right? Full loss, partial profit, full profit, right? That's it. Outside of a crazy black swan event where we just knife through my stop loss, I don't think I'm accepting more than slightly over $1,000 worth of risk, which is important, right? Structure your risk, put your trades on, like I talked about earlier. Am I happy taking a loss on this trade, right? Even though I'm not happy, am I okay taking an L if I have to on this one? And in this case, yes. Yes. So we'll watch this one play out. And while we're hanging out with a bunch of people watching this trade play, if you guys are interested, now again, I always try to talk objectively here. Top 1 Futures has had some rule changes. If you're interested in my thoughts, my opinions, my 2 cents, what those rule changes are, go back to Friday's live session and watch the beginning. I'm affiliated with Top 1 Futures. I cannot stand to be unbiased. I'm still trading the accounts. I'm still bullish on them for today, right? And I'll always try to give you guys my honest opinion. Here's what they're running right now. 55% off, code RDF, plus no daily loss limit on all account sizes. That's valid until the 31st. If you want to check it out, link is in the chat. As always, again, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated, I'm biased. Do your own research, make your own decisions, right? It's your hard-earned money at the end of the day. Like we were talking about, there's a consistency rule there. That hasn't changed since the beginning, but you might say that's not for me. You know, that consistency rule, just not for me. Most prop firms are not going to work for me. That's cool, man. You gotta make it make sense for you. Make sure the math is mathing. Do you only trade ES? I primarily trade ES. Yeah, I really have been locked into ES. Talk about that a lot. I've gone back and forth with the US indices quite a bit. Got experience on Dow and NASDAQ, but for my foreseeable future, I do not have a path where I'm back on NQ or YM right now. The past 2 months were not normal. Volatility was massive. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. Still 30 points on NQ. Still 30 points on NQ bounce, short-term scalp. Okay, cool. Cool. Thanks for your time. I'm done looking at the charts. Green of the day, stick to your model. Hold until you see it. I don't like the PA right now. Not risking my green day on low probability. Yeah, 100%. Wait for your setups. There's nothing there. Right? I sit with you guys patiently, and I'll, wait for the market to do what it needs to do for me personally. What videos do you have on your strategy so we can see? Hop on. Ooh, cracking through this level right here. Here comes overnight low. Yeah, let's see if we find buyers or if we're actually just going to continue this knife lower. Again, no trade management out of me. I think if we continue lower through my stop loss level, we're going to head lower down to value area low, potentially all the way lower down through the 900s, back towards like the 5980s. So I don't mind it down here, given a little bit of room below this level. Like I said, the 15s, we might have to kind of like crack down there. I could see buyers potentially be found, but I would love for this to hold up here and start to bounce. That's really the thesis. You know, we come lower, we're really selling off. We got some aggressive movement down below VWAP, and we're just not reacting. So let the trade play out. Take the $1,000 L across 3 if I have to. That'll be that. But yeah, I started to say on my YouTube right here, right? Hop on the YouTube. I got a ton of different videos. I'm putting like 2 longer form videos out a week talking about a ton of different stuff, not just prop firms, strategy, trade management, risk management, psychology, quotes that have helped me, books that I like, along with strategy, right? Along with different strategy stuff. So take a look. Also, watching me trade live here, right? I think that's probably the best way to get a feel for how and what and why I do what I do. Just watching me do it live and it play out. You can go back through and take a look at live sessions if you like. That's the beauty of doing this stuff for free on YouTube. So yeah, got plenty of that. More than you'd probably want to watch. I've got, I don't know how many hours of live sessions, but a lot of live sessions. So let's see, man. This is decision-making point, sitting in this trade, continuing to find buyers here, but like also still slowly trending in the downside, not really breaking this trend that we've had forming to the downside. So I'm in a long position holding against that, looking for some movement out of here. If we really start to continue or aggressively sell off, I'm going to lose faith in this trade. Again, I'm going to stick to my trade management by not touching it, right? Not doing something that I'm not going to do every other day or something consistently, because that's not good. You might get lucky once or twice, but not a great way to apply consistency day in and day out. But if we come through these 17s, 15s, we got some orders on the book here. We start to come through this aggressively. I'm probably going to be in trouble on this one. I could see us really aggressively knifing lower. We do have 184 on the book, which looks nice for my trade, all the way back up at the 932s, 933s near VWAP. So we have more orders stacked up on the book, actually the highest quantity that I can see, up above price in the direction of my trade. It's not super close. We had some stuff up at the 25s that looks like it got pulled. So order flow is kind of back and forth. Bookmap really isn't giving me a super strong, indication one way or the other. Just to kind of talk through how I use Bookmap, since I was talking about it earlier. But I got about another 10 to 15 minutes here with you guys. If I'm still in this one, I will let you know what I'm planning to do, managing it. But I do have a meeting pretty quickly after this live, so I'm going to have this one play out or let you know what I'm looking to do for management. So let's go, ES. Give me some profit or stop me out. We got to go. We got business to take care of. But always, guys, appreciate you guys hopping on. Not going anywhere just yet. Everybody chill out. Not going anywhere just yet. Smash like, smash subscribe. I'm here live almost every damn day. More than happy to show you what real trading looks like for me. Again, if you're new, I see we got a bunch of people that hopped on. People hopped on and off. My name's Zach. Trade futures here, live, free, almost every damn day on YouTube. I run a 100% free trading Discord community, not a VIP feeder program. None of that stuff. Who I'm not. Not the best trader in the world. No magic strategy. No crazy leaderboards or huge P&Ls and live accounts. None of that stuff, man. Some payouts. Quite a few this year. Taking payouts with Top Step every month this year. Would like to say the same for Top One, but not quite there yet. But I don't have to tell you any of that stuff or make any crazy claims because you could just watch it for free. You could hop on these live sessions. You can hop on my YouTube. You could watch my trading play out and say, I think that guy might have some value, right? I think that guy sucks and I want to fade him. And he's going to give me a lot of value by doing that. That's the beauty of doing this stuff. You know, no paywall, you know, just 100% free. So happy to have you on. Awesome community. I'm so grateful for everybody that hops on, asks questions, that shares in the Discord, right? We're all on this journey towards more money, more consistency, right? Even late in the game for myself, been in the markets around that 6-year mark. You know, that's the journey, man. So anyway, happy to have you guys on here, man. Smash like, smash subscribe. You don't have to do anything. I keep subscriber mode on. If you hopped on this time, you couldn't chat, you want to chat next time, hit the subscribe button. Along with that, 50K instant funded account giveaways on these live sessions every week. Didn't have one just yet. Didn't have one today yet. Don't know. Random days, random times, form drops. Happy to have you guys getting funded on here. It's fun to do. I used to love to get some giveaways when I was hanging out on people's live sessions or just in their communities. And it's awesome to get to do it. Shout out Top One Futures. Again, if you guys want to check them out, just run through the whole deal. If you want to check them out, link is in the chat. Make sure you read through their frequently asked questions. They've had some rule changes. Do your own research. Make your own decisions. I'm partnered. I'm affiliated. I cannot stand to be unbiased. It's important that I'm transparent with you about that. But 55% off, no daily loss limit. That's their deal right now. Can we find buyers here as we're hanging out? Can we find buyers? Slowly drifting lower, coming back down to this 18s. Looks like we might have to crack the 15s. We now have some liquidity stacking up at the 10s. Again, just talking about Bookmap, not showing it because I'm in a live trade with you guys and I want to be able to manage it. So let's take a look and see. Can't wait to win. Yeah, man. Listen, I think it's great odds. We're talking about, I'm assuming you're talking about the giveaways. I think it's pretty good odds for a giveaway, right? Like if you're on the live session, you can see right now, right? There's 50 people on here. I'm bouncing around 50 people right now. You got, if I dropped it right now, which I'm not, you had a 1 in 50 chance. Usually it's like 1 in 60, 70 to win an instant funded account. If you look at like the Instagram giveaways, because I've done the Twitter giveaways, it's like 1,000, couple thousand people. I think it's great odds. Obviously, you got to be on here to get it, right? But no purchase necessary. I like it. I like the odds. Yeah, man, a lot of indecision down here. I'm expecting a break lower or some buyers to step in. If we start to wick around the 15s, 14s, yeah, here we go. So here's the break lower. If we don't find buyers like right here, I think we're continuing lower towards that value area low from yesterday. We really haven't been able to find buyers off these 20s. We did right here. We had an initial bounce after filling, but now we're just continuing this slow zombie grind to the downside. Really not bouncing here. So this doesn't look great. Again, sticking to my risk management, my approach here. There's nothing for me to do until we move into profit back up towards the 28s, at which case I would drag my stop loss. So not a whole lot of action. Just got to let it sit. On that note, guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to still manage this with you. Not done just yet, but I will be right back. Back in action here with you guys. Yeah, 11 o'clock, man. This thing's dragging. This thing is dragging. Headed back towards entry here. I'd like to be able to manage this with you guys. I'm running up close to a meeting that I have here coming up, so this is going to be dicey. I will tell you exactly my game plan before I hop off if I have to hop off during it. But back towards break even here. Nothing to be done just yet. Let's see what ES has got for me today. Let's see what it's got for me. Yeah, this is gonna be a problem if it doesn't play out. Interesting, right? If you're a lower time frame trader and you have active trade management the way that I do, it's tough to leave anything running. If you got to step away or if you have to have your attention somewhere else. Usually it's close out, but that can be a painful move if the trade continues to play out in your direction. Yeah, this is just moving too slow. Way too slow, man. 923s, we got some liquidity. This still looks good. I don't mind it. Yeah, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up right here, right? Unfortunately, just call it a break even on the live. If this moves in the direction of my trade, back up here above the up to the 28 level, I am dragging my stop loss into profit a couple points away from price, generating either a larger win or a small partial win. If it sells off really aggressively from this level right here, I'm stopped out. That's it. Past that, later in the day, we start to push back up towards VWAP. I really don't have anything. If we sold off really harshly, I would want to see what happens down around this level. That's my next eyes on. Sweeping below the 5900s, maybe a little bit below that. So I'm going to wrap it up right here, guys. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything here or anywhere else. I'm just an entertainer. I'm an idiot. Excuse me. Idiot here yapping on YouTube for entertainment purposes only. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, code RDF. Yeah, it's going to be close, guys, but I got to wrap this one up. I appreciate you guys hopping on. I love to capture wins on here, you know, and just stack up a nice win with you guys and say we took the win on the trade. But I'm going to say I'm ending it $250 in profit, right? You know what my management's going to look like. All right, I'm going to give it a minute. I know I said I'm going. I'm going to give it a minute. Let's see. Hang on. Can we get a push out of this thing? All right. Yeah, it's interesting, right? That's just part of life. If you have meetings, you have things to do. Maybe you have family, you got, you know, kids you got to take care of. It's tough to have to actively manage trades and try to deal with that. We got a nice push out of this again. $450 showing 4.5 points, right? Every point is $100 at 2 minis here on ES. So let's see. Again, I'm looking for the same level. Very systematic, mechanical. You know what I'm looking for here. A push above, right? A push above this area, this point of control. Because if we do that, I think we're likely to continue. And I'm going to trail aggressively behind that. Back and forth, temporary volume point of control. Yeah, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here then. Again, you know what my management of this trade is. I'm going to wrap it up here. You got the disclaimer, you got the info. Hop in the free Discord. Subscribe for the lives. Appreciate you being here. See you guys tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. We got giveaways coming up, guest speakers coming on. Trade running in profit as I'm hopping off this, $325, $350. Talk to you guys soon. See you in Discord.